In a quiet West African village surrounded by lush green hills and flowing rivers, there lived a young woman named Amina. She was known for her kindness, intelligence, and grace. Many men sought her hand in marriage, but Amina held on to a belief passed down by her late grandmother, a wise seer in the village. A woman's destiny is tied to the man she marries. If she chooses wrongly, she will live in regret. But if she listens to the spirits, they will guide her to the one who will honor her soul. Amina grew up believing that her future husband would be revealed to her in a dream. She had seen it happen with her grandmother and her mother. Each of them had dreamed of their true love before meeting him. She was determined to wait for her sign. The charming stranger. One evening, a wealthy and well-dressed man named Karim arrived in the village. He was a successful trader, known for his charm and generosity. He had traveled far and wide, bringing back exotic fabrics, gold, and fine jewelry. The moment he saw Amina, he decided she would be his wife. He wasted no time. Approaching her family with lavish gifts, he presented them with bags of rice, barrels of palm oil, and the finest clothes. Her parents were impressed, and the village elders whispered among themselves, saying Amina would be foolish to refuse such a man. But Amina was troubled. She had never seen Karim in her dreams. Why had the spirits remained silent? She expressed her doubts to her mother, who dismissed them. "Dreams do not feed a family, my daughter. Karim is rich and respected. You will live a life of comfort." Her father agreed. "He has already paid the highest bride price. The spirits are not always loud. Sometimes blessings come in silence." Faced with immense pressure from her family and the village, Amina finally agreed to the marriage. The dream she couldn't ignore. The night before her wedding, Amina had a terrifying dream. She found herself standing in a dark, endless forest. A faceless man stepped forward, reaching out to her. The moment she touched his hand, she felt her throat tighten. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. She was trapped in silence. She woke up, drenched in sweat, her heart pounding. The spirits were warning her. She ran to her mother again, pleading, "Mom, I cannot marry him. The spirits have spoken." Her mother sighed in frustration. "Enough of this foolishness, Amina. You will not embarrass this family. The wedding will go on." Defeated, Amina had no choice but to go through with the marriage. The silent bride. From the moment she stepped into Karim's house, everything changed. The charming, generous man the village admired was nowhere to be found. Karim was cruel, controlling, and dismissive of her beliefs. He forbade her from speaking to certain people, made decisions without her, and mocked her whenever she mentioned the spirits. A wife's duty is to obey her husband, not to chase after silly superstitions, he sneered. Each day, Amina's voice grew quieter. She stopped laughing, she stopped speaking up, and soon she even stopped praying. The dream had come true, her spirit was trapped in silence. A ray of hope. One day, an old woman in the village, Mama Bintu, noticed Amina's sadness. Mama Bintu was wise and deeply connected to the spiritual world. She called Amina aside and said, "Child, the spirits warned you, but you ignored them. But all is not lost. A woman's power is not in her silence, but in her ability to walk away from what dims her light." That night, Amina made a bold decision. She waited until Karim was asleep, packed a small bag, and fled back to her family's home. Her parents were furious. "Amina, you cannot leave your husband. What will people say?" But this time, Amina stood firm. What people say does not matter. The spirits have already spoken. The truth is revealed. Months later, news spread through the village that Karim was not the man he had claimed to be. He had made his fortune through deceit, cheating traders and villagers alike. Eventually, his lies caught up with him, and he was forced to flee in disgrace. The same elders who once praised him now condemned him. People whispered, if Amina had stayed, she would have suffered greatly. One evening, while fetching water, Amina met a humble farmer named Yusuf. He was gentle, kind, and hardworking. Unlike Karim, he listened when she spoke and respected her beliefs. That night, for the first time in months, Amina had a dream. She saw herself in a golden field of maize, with Yusuf standing beside her smiling. She finally understood. This was the man the spirits had chosen for her. Moral lessons: trust your spiritual intuition. The inner voice that warns us is often right. Ignoring it can lead to regret. Marriage should be based on character, not wealth. A good heart is worth more than material possessions. Never let society silence you. When something feels wrong, speak up and take action. No one should stay in an unhappy or harmful relationship out of fear. Spirituality and wisdom go hand in hand. True wisdom comes from listening to both spiritual guidance and life's experiences. Amina's story became a lesson for generations, reminding young women that their destiny should never be dictated by pressure or fear, but by wisdom and spiritual guidance.